Hey Flosstube friends, it's Lana, Silly Notion Stitcher here, back for a Flosstube after several weeks. It's been a busy time and back to show you I have an FFO, well a near FFO, and a finish and a few other whips going on. And I have some haul from the Stitch New Jersey retreat, which was last weekend, and I will be headed to the Grace Notes retreat next weekend. So that will be in Allentown. So it's getting busy now with retreat season and fair season coming up, and trying to hopefully finish a few more things that will be giving me some options for fair entries this year. There are several fairs within, I'll say, 20 miles of me that I'm eligible to enter. So I'd like to do that again this year where I can. So right off the bat, well, let's talk about the Olympics. Who's stitching for the Olympics? I'm not really following the official Olympics daily prompt. I just got a glimpse of that. I got to meet Candy, the 614 stitcher. We had the greatest table at Stitch New Jersey. We were 38, 49. We had, all the tables had numbers on them, and the color of, they were DMC numbers and colors. In my head I kept messing up if we were 3809, 3849, that sort of thing. But anyway, we had a really fun table. EJ was there from Sunshine Stitchers. Kathleen, my friend from, who's the Snickerdoodle Stitch Flosstuber, she was at our table. I met a lovely woman, Suzanne, from Canada. That was lots of fun, and she is like a total fiber texture, like making all the things. Like I would look over at her and she'd be working on like almost like a long dog sampler or something, or a modern folk embroidery, I think. And then the next time I'd be looking over there, she'd be knitting socks. And she just kind of kept switching it up, so that was very cool. And then we had Mana, that rhymes with Lana. So Mana, oh my gosh, she finished a Mirabilia while we were there, so we all got to clap for her across the room. And then she was pulling out her long dog sampler that's gigantic. So it was lots of fun. So I want to jump right on and show you my FFO, but I do want to say go Team Fia, go Sophia Gladio on the USA women's field hockey team in the summer games right now. She scored a goal today. It is July 29th. So that was super exciting. Unfortunately, they didn't win the game, but I think they may have gotten at least a point or something for that game because they tied it. So we hope to be able to keep watching them as long as possible, but it's very exciting. So I went to my first ever watch party on Saturday. This athlete is from my high school in Ole, Pennsylvania, and so there was a watch party there that a group put together. So it was in the Ole Elementary School, and that was loads of fun. And I ordered this t-shirt. So that's been my excitement. We are into the Olympics here, and we watch lots of things. In terms of stitching, I normally have a quilt hanging behind me. This is a work in progress, and it's sort of like a Parisian scene. And I want to hand quilt it. So my intention is to do that while I'm watching the Olympics. I haven't quite started it yet. I didn't start it during the open ceremonies. I was busy stitching some other things. So a little bit more about that in a bit. So here is my FFO. It still needs a little bit of finishing down here. I might do a bow for where this trim is coming together. Oh, and also this rickrack. But this was an oval charcuterie. Oh, charcuterie. Okay, so now my sticky stuff didn't stay stuck too well on this, but that'll need a little bit more of a final treatment. This is an oval tray. It's a wooden tray that I found at a thrift store for like $2. Took it out to the yard, spray painted with some, I found spray chalk paint that is the Magnolia brand, and I found it at Lowe's, and I also found it at Ace Hardware. Lowe's had it a little bit cheaper. I think it was like around $15. So I needed to paint this for sure because it was natural. I think I showed it in a prior episode, and it has like a little overlay of an ink pattern on here, so I really did need something like a chalk paint to cover that. But sort of tone on tone, I wanted the stitching to be the center stage item here. I should have another button there, so I might be adding that as well. So it's an almost FFO. This is the Stitcher chart by Luminous Fiber Arts. A few years ago, people were really stitching this. The floss is Classic Colorworks watermelon, but it's the Belle Soie. So it, I think this was probably my first all silk project. So I thought about putting a magnet on here that I might possibly change out things on this board, but that's not likely. So I'm trying to, I used some glue stick or glue dots on the back of this. So I did put batting. I was gonna say matting. I put batting on a sticky board. I tend to like that look a little bit more, like rather than a harsh flatness. It depends on what you're doing. And then I had from Michael's or whatever, I think it was Michael's or Joann's, they were selling like these like real clearance containers of like 4 different ribbons together or different trims together, and I really have liked this one. I've used it on some other things for the summer. Like it just has, to me, it has sort of like a little summery look to it, and Hobby Lobby, very wide rickrack. So it really took me a bit to put this together because I just wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to trim it. I sort of felt like, oh, this needs like maybe like a pink gingham or something more in the pink line, but it's very hard to sort of coordinate with this particular color. And then I realized like, no, like let's let that be the star, and so I'm very happy with it. And actually this tray, even though it would normally sit like this, I can still just open these legs and it will sit on a table and sort of like be its own easel. So it doesn't fall over, thankfully. Like it's not top heavy. So that's that. I had another finish. So this is on a piece of banding. This is by Heart and Hand, and oh, I just thought I had the name of it. I don't have the chart with me, but I think it was released just last year. I know that I picked up this chart at Stitch New England. Just thought it was really adorable. I did make a few color changes. So it's not quite the exact called for floss, but I tried to stay at least with the colors of the chart. So, and this banding is really cute because of the, you know, sort of check going on there, and even the binding on the sides. So I think, oh, I wonder if I have that here. My friend Kathleen just gave me last weekend. She gave me, yes, here it is. This was a clearance item. And it's really cool. Like, it looks so easy because it's just sort of like a, almost like a safety pin type of thing that you can slide things on here. So I think I will be able to just easily, oh, look at the width. I hadn't even tried this out before this. So I think I'm going to put this on here. And I won't even really have to paint this. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just have it as like a little hanging banner type of finish. And of course I have several other bee charts that I haven't even started, but that they would all be in a nice, you know, lovely display. So, okay, so then for whips, it was very fun at the Stitch New Jersey retreat. One of the activities that they do there, I have my, this is a project bag that I made. Oh, there's a chart there. And a cute little matching bag. So they do 3 starts in 3 hours. So every hour, the coordinator of the whole retreat, Arlene, she was fabulous. She's just a lovely personality, and then did an excellent job with pulling together the retreat. I think they've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years. It's a great location. It's a great hotel location. The room is like the perfect size. It could be a little bit bigger, but monetarily it's probably the best combination. And then there's plenty of places to just walk to eat. There's a Walmart to walk to if you need something. So it's really well thought out. But she would keep track for us with timing every hour, starting a new chart, and then she'd sort of tell us, like, you know, it's halfway through the time period. We'd have like a 5-minute break before the next hour would start. It was totally you do you type of thing. You could do it, you could not do it, you could do it how you wanted to. So what I decided to do, this is my Boardwalk by Country Cottage Needleworks. I feel like it has more of a name to it. I guess it's the Boardwalk Series. So there's several little shops in this series that she released last summer. And what I would like to do is, there are places for names on some of the shops, I believe. And we used to vacation pretty much in Stone Harbor or Avalon, down the shore, as they say. I don't really say that, but down the shore in New Jersey. And there was the Springer's ice cream shop, and Springer's will actually just fit in that space. I started this surf shop. That was the next one in the series, and I started it before I went to the retreat, and I did sections so that I could sort of just easily fill in. I made kind of a boo-boo with the width of my shop. So, oh yeah, there is a sign placement for a sign there. So in Stone Harbor, it was always Pete's, I think it was called Pete's Surf Shop. The surf is not terribly major at that part of the shore. But still, of course, they have to try to sell some surf, oceany products. So I still have some work on that, but this section is what I started. That was one of my starts. I love the layout of this particular series. She does have it running all the way across, so I do have quite a long piece of this. Is Picture This Plus. I'm pretty sure it's 16 count. Oh, I did remember the name of this before, but now I don't. So it does have some modeling, but it's not overly dramatic. I wanted to do something different. Oftentimes she'll show her series on, you know, more of a linen, natural type background, but I wanted to do something like this. And I think for the, oh, it's not Glitter Village. Oh, it's the Main Street Village, which is also one that I am working on and reminds me of like Cape May and Stone Harbor in New Jersey, little shops. But I know on her models for the pictures, I believe that's on a Seraphim. It's definitely like a really great sage minty background. It's like the perfect light aqua that goes with that series. But anyway, it's really fun to do the water and the sand. Each section has been a little bit different, so it's not exactly the same. I kind of blundered. my beach is going to be a little bit different than what the chart looks like, but that means it's the only one in the world is how I always think of these things. So I can't remember what's coming up next in the series, like what runs across, so it'll be a surprise. But oh, it's bicycles. So where I've done the sand and the water, it's the little bicycle shop. I don't know, there's not really a famous bicycle rental that we went to, so I think my shop will just say bicycles. While I'm in this bag, I have been keeping all of my beachy, summery, shore type stitches, and I am working on the Seaside Tiny Town. I started this one at Stitch New England. No, I started this one. I always like to have a start at retreats, and this one I started at StitchCon last year. So it's coming along, but I don't stick with it for super long. I move on to other things, but I think it looks adorable. This is definitely Ada that I got at StitchCon last year. Love the modeling on this. They had a lot of, it's called Freeze, but I don't know if that's what this is. So we'll call it Mystery Ada. I like that term. Oh, and also in this bag, I finally started my cute little crab project. Okay, so fun flosses for the crab. I went to stock up on the called for, but it was a lot of salmon colors, and I just wanted it to be a little bit more brilliant. So I kind of just played around. I got a few things, and my new thing is Frankensteining floss. So my Frankenflossing is what I'm doing lately, and that's pulling together different strands of different things. Now, do you think it's like someone who's an overdyer of fabric? You need to keep track of your recipe of what your colors are that you're, you know, pulling together to make a certain fabric, so that you can keep producing it if it's popular, and I haven't been writing them down. I've been like, oh yeah, it was two strands of this pink and 2 strands of whatever. So I'm many times write notes to myself, but I've been very busy or something. It's a little crazy. So that's my cute crab, and this is for, it's a crabby day without a stitch across. Is that what that says? It's backwards for me. This is a Sue Hillis Designs. And since she lives near Cincinnati, evidently, you can find a lot of her charts. Yes, she's in Cincinnati. You can find a lot of her charts at Keepsakes. While I was at Stitch, New Jersey, I did pick up this chart. I have been seeing this, saw this a lot last year at different retreats. And Needleworks by Jim had a shop at Stitch, New Jersey, and they had the models on display, and so I definitely had to shoom that and pick up copies. So actually I started one of my starts, I believe it's this candle one, Candle Calabra, is that what it is? That doesn't sound right to me, but candelabra, there we go. You know, you get it eventually. So yeah, it would be nice to finish this crab this summer. We'll see. It shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. But then I have this one, so adorable, and I was actually showing this at my table. This is from the Tiny Modernist, and we are not terribly far from Maryland here, and definitely you know, the coast, the Atlantic coast, where crabs abound. So it's fun to stitch some crabs. This is called Crab Dance. So I fully had intended on starting this summer, and let's say, you know, finishing it, but well, there's still August. There's still August for summer stitching. I know many people are already moving on to fall. I can't stitch fall yet. And even Halloween, like no way. The other charts that I was really having like a major almost like fit, like I need to stitch my bicycles, and they live in this bag. This was a lovely gift. I was in shock. This was the first project bag I was offered at StitchCon last year, and then at 2 or 3 retreats since then. People that are at our tables make these bags and give them to us. It's just a delightful gift, and the sharing is wonderful. But I kind of like reined myself in. I have a few of these bicycles in the Sue Hillis series that she has done, and I stitched more on this. I'm also stitching. I made a mistake somewhere in that wheel section, and I know what I've done, but I don't want to rip it out. So this is my first experience as a cross stitcher, realizing that if you're going to choose to fudge, how big your fudging can quickly get. So I know that I've screwed up like by 2 rows here. Like I think I've added 2 rows, like my wheel is too far down. So when I get over here to this wheel, what am I going to do to make it even? You know, these are serious problems. So let's just look at how nice that umbrella is. So I don't know, I will keep plugging along, but stitching on this particular fabric is so lovely, and I think this was my first even weave, my first official like big chart on an even weave fabric. Shoot, and I used to know what this was too, but this was definitely a find from Keepsakes, StitchCon. This might also be Freeze. I'm not sure. But it has like these pinks throughout it. It's kind of like a gray. So I thought it was a good find for that chart. And she just has a lot of great bicycle charts. I have the spring one. I kind of want this one now, or do I have that one now? Because I do have a Singer Featherweight antique machine. Now, it's similar, it's very similar to the StitchCon chart that she designed for last year, which was amazing. So I really want to get to this. This is where I was saying, like, I'm having a fit because I want to just stitch them all and have them all done, and it's so much fun. I did start this one. Or maybe it's this way. That's the other thing, is a chart like this, like if you're not going to work on it for a long time, you kind of have to make sure you have your tops and bottoms, you know, labeled and known. So this is also the bag for my, it seems to be my transportation, my fun transportation project. So this is Matilda Drives the Stitchy Bus, and this was also special design by oh gosh, Chrissy, Finally a Farm Girl, and this was for StitchCon last year. So many great charts, so many great charts. I do not recall, I think I remembered that the last time I had a Flosstube, our refrigerator had broken, and I think I had talked about that. So there's just been things like that, because then at the same time we decided we needed to get a dishwasher too, and so they had to install them 2 different days, and you just have to sort of, you know, then plan, you know, at least a day ahead. We have to move stuff out of the way and things like that. That all went well. The other thing that I did was go to the Kutztown Folk Festival in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, which is, I'll say it's still kind of in that southeastern quadrant of Pennsylvania, and it really celebrates the Pennsylvania Dutch folk heritage of this area. And I worked in the quilt barn, and I helped at a quilt that they do every year where visitors can come in and they can actually put stitches in the quilt. There are pencil lines marking where they can do that, and the kids just absolutely loved it. It was really great to see how engaged they were. And I mean, little kids, like, even like, I think I'll say 4 for sure. Maybe there might have been like a 3-year-old. And there I am, like, okay, so put the needle down through the thread, and under the quilt, with your other hand, feel for the tip of that very sharp needle, because they're not like cross-stitch needles. They are real sharp needles. And you sort of see this look in their eye, but their parents were typically there and saying, you know, it won't hurt you and whatever. And they just got into it so easily, especially the boys. I found it was like a real skill and sort of a hunting type of thing where they really wanted to master bringing that needle up from the bottom through the fabric again, and landing that needle right on the same pencil line. That was something they wanted to do. Now, if you've ever, seen people quilting like as a team on a quilt at the same time, and they're hand quilting, they keep the needle and thread on the top of the quilt. It goes through all the layers, but the needle does not fully go down through, like, say, the hoop. And so there were some people that were doing it that way. And that is what I will do with this quilt. I'm starting with this. There was a woman there who paints these scenes. She is inspired by local farms and homes, and she'll sketch pieces. She told me that this one, like, this is a covered bridge that's in one area, and then this house is not positioned exactly like this, but she takes things and she places them and she watercolors them. And the watercolor set she has is just so vibrant. She painted a barn scene that was then being raffled off as a prize there, and I definitely wanted to win it. I did not, but I was able to purchase just fabric. She gets her paintings put on spoon flower. And so this is my first shot at starting to hand quilt. So there's some of my stitches. I've gone down this rabbit hole of watching a whole bunch of YouTubes of people hand stitching, and more so like this stitching like this with thread. There was kind of a movement a few years ago of people stitching with pearl cotton. Quilting big stitch with pearl cotton, which I think definitely has a place for things, but I really just love this hand quilting thread, and I am not worrying about my stitches being tiny. Like in Amish communities, Mennonite communities, the tradition is to have like so many stitches per inch, and for different reasons. So but that's not what I'm aiming to do. But this will be like a small wall hanging. And I had some cute Christmas fabric that I could use up to put on the back. I was very hepped up, as we say, in the Crossworld community, thanks to dear Laura, and I wanted to get a hoop. Now, I don't use a hoop with cross stitch. I stitch in hand, but I loved the experience of having a quilt on a frame, and that's typically how it's done. And one of the volunteers I worked with said that she works on a frame that's probably like a long card table, is like what it sounds like to me. It's actually made out of PVC pipe, so it's a similar setup to Q-snaps, but it's a quilt frame, and I love that idea. I just don't have the room, and I wanted to start small. Purchased this frame at a very cute fabric store in the area, but then of course found the same thing on Amazon for like half the price, but that's okay. So I'm struggling a little bit using the frame because I find that in no time, it's not like cross stitching, and in no time, like I start here and I'm already over here, or the opposite, and then I'm running out of space, and it's like time to change the hoop, and I don't like all of that. So I have put this aside for right now, but let's jump right over to here and start on this project. So with the Olympics happening now, with the Eiffel Tower here, there's some hot air balloons up top. I don't know if I can bring this hanger down. Yeah. Ooh. Hot air balloons. So my intention is to kind of stitch around elements of the picture. I'm sort of looking at these and stitching along these and just creating texture throughout the whole picture. And that way, I think it'll keep me interested. It'll be something different to move around, and so, you know, I'll do this and my crabs and my boardwalk and all that. You know, we have like August is left in the summer, but I am one that's finds it hard to say goodbye to summer, so I'll definitely be stitching summery things. I do have a sunflowers chart that I need to get out that is in support of is it Stitch Princess Black, or the word black is in there somewhere, and she's a Ukrainian stitcher, Katerina, who has a lovely chart called Sunflower Girl. And I started that 2 years ago in support of all that she's enduring and all of her neighbors and family and friends in the Ukraine. And so I will be getting that out again when August begins. I do want to show you the great progress I have made. This is going to be a stand-up. I saw this as a stand-up at Salty Yarns in Ocean City, Maryland, now Berlin, Maryland. Now I changed it a bit, but I am soon going to be starting the flag. I'm not going to do the plant that is with it. So I changed her dress. I wanted it to just be a little bit more simple, and I stitched the blue part of the bottom of the dress going to StitchCon, driving out to Cincinnati last year. And I'm having trouble. This is where I'm Frankenflossing, creating Frankenfloss with the skin tones. Now what I see, I mean, even under my light and last night, I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks like she's got like 5 o'clock shadow going on. That's how I feel about it. With her neck, I did her neck first, and then I was like, well, she looks sunburned. Then I did her arms, and I took out some of the, well, I may have run out of whatever overdyed pink I was using. This is actually called Macaroni and Cheese. It's a classic Colorworks. I can't seem to find it in my supplies, and so I'm sort of thinking I ran out of it. I do have a similar DMC, and that's what I've started mixing up here. I don't know. Looking at it now, I think I'm going to have to rip out at least her face area. And I don't love the lines to give her face definition, but that's what the chart shows. So I might try to look for a hashtag and see if I can find other people that have stitched this and what they did. I did make a change up here. This is supposed to be the white color, but with the fabric being basically the same color as that, I went with red. I did go ahead and I wasn't going to fill in the cream color of the dress, but I was like, no, that's cheating. You definitely have to fill that in. So I guess it's over here. I just have a few more rows to go of that. And then she gets her flag will be over here. And then I will make this into a stand-up. So I am really trying to finish this, and I would like to get it done as a stand-up to enter into a fair or two. Especially since it's an election year and such an important year for us. And then she'll also be ready for 2026 when we have the big 250th anniversary of our independence. So I have several projects that I am hoping to start and finish by that celebration, and some of them I want to finish in that year to commemorate that. Now, I was going to say one other thing. Oh, this is Legacy Linen. It's called Taffeta Cream. I love stitching this, and the size is kind of like, I think it's technically marked as a 20, but we believe it's more like a 16. And so you stitch, I have been using like an entire 6-strand length and stitching over, stitch over 2. I was suddenly thinking I stitch over 4, but no, you're stitching over 2. So I've done a few other projects that, if you're new to watching me, I've done a few other things on this fabric, and I have pilgrims in progress. Should get them out a little bit earlier to see if I could finish at least one of them this year, and they will be stand-ups. Okay, so now I'm going to move on. Here I thought like, oh, this is going to be a quick one because I don't really have a lot. One exciting thing that happened at Stitch New Jersey, they do a service project, and they have a lot of raffle baskets, raffle prizes that supports a local animal shelter. And this year, I think when we arrived, she might have had like, maybe it was like about 140, or not quite. There were 150 attendees. By Saturday evening, the retreat started on Thursday and then ran till Sunday. Saturday evening, I'm realizing my camera has been crooked this whole time. I'm terribly sorry. She had 160 prizes then till the right before the drawings. People contributed things. They contributed project bags. There was oodles of dinky dye flosses there, and flosses from other companies, overdyed companies. But dinky dyes definitely, I think, won the prize for how much they donated to contribute towards this. There were prizes from the Wonderland company on Etsy, which is a Ukrainian company that makes, they make little wooden frames that evidently I think Steph has talked about on Just Keep Stitching, that they fit Mill Hill kits and other sizes, and they have wooden bobbins. Somebody made a quilt and donated the quilt, so it was amazing how many prizes there were. I won 5 of them. 5. So that was awesome. I have a few of them here to show. Pardon me as I go off screen and I crinkle. Let's see here. So I have some flosses that I won. So I won this bag of dinky dye flosses, silks. Aren't they lovely? And they had different color groupings, so I had to try to grab one that, you know, it was like, oh, what projects do I have that I think things will work for? I'm trying to see. Yes, this one does have black, black silk in it. I was thinking it was just that brown. On the freebie table, I picked up many lovely things, and one of them is a Whilst Iris Naps black sampler. I've been wanting to do, you know, a few black, fairly easy samplers, so that's earmarked for that. And I have the cuckoo bird chart, and I don't know if I would do it in that brown, but at least I have like some overdyed and variegated silks for like a one color project. These are the bobbins I won. Now I do not bobbinate typically, but I like these for projects where you do have, like, I have several projects like that crab project where I don't need a lot of floss. It's a smaller project and I can easily, you know, set these up or something like that. Let's see if this has the name. It's all in Russian, Ukrainian language. So I think this was the Woodlands. Yeah, it's got the W on it. I was trying to win. They had a cute bird scene floss holder. I was really trying to win that, but I got Gloriana silks instead. So there's 5 in this bag, more black. And these are, I guess this is typical of Gloriana, they are 4-yard skeins. Just to cover that point that there's 4 whole yards on each one. Oh gosh. Just lovely. So, and I was really excited to get this particular one. I think they had like a Christmas bag, a fall one, and they had that neutrals one, and for whatever reason I really put a lot of tickets in that one. I guess thinking the others would be harder to win. Here's what EJ gave out to the whole room. Nice floss drops from the Sunshine Stitchers. Well, EJ won't be going, but a few of them are going to Alaska. Kathleen is going, Candy, the 614 Stitcher, Sheila, they will all be going on an Alaskan cruise together, which is really cool. It's just kind of casual, go on the cruise, and then they're going to meet up different times, stitch together in, I think it sounds like it's sort of like a lounge, like an adults only sitting area with a lovely view. So how dreamy is that? Trying to think what the other 2 prizes were. I got a $15 gift certificate to 1884 Stitchery. Yay, that's exciting. And oh my gosh, I forget what the other thing was, what the final thing was. I better find it. I don't know that I saw it in my bag. So I was going to get out a variety of things that I picked up off the freebie table. I'll show a few of them. When I can find these charts on the freebie tables, this is where I'm starting to collect them, because I'm not super passionate about, this is the winter, the Christmas on the Farm, Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. And then I have 2 charts from the fall series. not exactly sure if I would embark on doing like the entire series. So as I see them, I happily grab them. There were several hoops. I think as people move on, try different things, they turn in their hoops. So I have two relatives that have expressed interest in possibly trying out cross stitch. So I was collecting a few things for them to stash them up. And it was very exciting. I think I've talked about before my neighbor growing up across the street was an artist. He designed cross stitch patterns for Dimensions. Dimensions was based in Reading, PA, very close to where I live, and not very far from where we grew up, like their original office. And he designed this chart. So now there were a lot of Dimensions kits. This is the only one that I found with his name on it. I know that he did a lot of baby things. That must have been maybe his assigned area of design. So now I kind of know what to look for at these freebie tables. Another one, I have a tuxedo cat, and I had just seen this not that long ago at Joann's or something, and I was like, no, you don't need to buy that. You have so many other things, but freebie table. So thank you, whoever dropped this off. Kathleen Snickerdoodle Stitch made one of her fabulous project bags for each one of us. They were different colors and styles. We could choose what we wanted. So, you know, I have so many summer stitches to do. And I will jump ahead and show my haul, and then that will be it for me. We got a whole nice bag of goodies. There's a chart in there with that logo on it. But what is really cool is that I believe it was Arlene created this. She introduced those of us who have never done this. I totally can't think of what it's called right now. Waste canvas. And I've been seeing waste canvas a lot in thrift stores, but she did this great brief instruction, and then provided, we even got these dinky dye flosses, silks, and this cute little bag so that we can put that chart on this bag using the waste canvas. So I definitely want to give it a try. EJ is getting into sewing, made these cute little scissor holders for us. We could choose what color we wanted, and just many different goodies in here. Some more silks, scissors, Suzanne from Canada made us our own wool, she calls them dryer balls, but that is not going in the dryer. She made a dark brown one, and I will be putting it in like a little, the top of a little ball jar as a little pin cushion. I've seen those. We saw those at one of the retreats. One of the vendors had those. We were also given this nice tote bag, which really wasn't necessary for me, although it was helpful because I had a tote full of the things that were like my table gifts, my snacks for the table, and my projects and my light and everything. And so then this bag helped me cart my haul and my freebie table haul and my prizes. I kept myself pretty well under control. I just purchased that Halloween chart I showed earlier, and then So Pretty Pins was there, and I splurged on a few of those. Cute wool hearts, and in February that wool will seem so luxurious to look at. Really nice sized acorn bead there and leaf. I don't really have fall pins for my projects, and I do want to restitch. It was an Erica Michaels project that I got at a class, and it's called, well, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's it's for Thanksgiving, and it says like Thanksgiving blessings or something on it. And I really did, if I do say so myself, did a very good job. I was proud of that small that I did for that Smalls Exchange at the Stitch New England retreat. The woman that received it, she may be watching, she gave me a big hug, and I'm excited that I'm going to get to see her again this year at the retreat. She's reached out, so I want to make one for myself because I have really cute little pumpkins made of wool and leaves and things, and then pins like this will be super cute for that. And then we have those pins. So again, this is So Pretty Pins. And okay, this was really nice from Grace Notes. She had just little extra pieces that she gave out as just little favors for everybody in the room. So I picked that one. And finally, the Grace Notes fabric I picked. I suddenly was looking at this thinking it was linen and I was gonna pass out, but it's Lugana. And this is called Passion, I think, not Passion, but it's the Italian word for passion. And it is 32 count. I have a lot of 28 count and 25 count, so I went with 32. And I think this will be great for various like Christmas stitching. So one final thing, you know, we all seem to talk about on our floss tubes, you know, finishing ideas. Here's an idea. I came across this really cute and nice tote bag. It's like a canvas. No pockets inside, so it's pretty basic inside, but it was half off, so it was $7.50 or whatever. And I fully intend to put a finished stitch on this outer pocket. Could be one of my many houses from either the Boardwalk Series or the Main Street Series, or it could be some sort of stitchy saying. So anyway, that was a happy find, and kind of keeps you going because you know that you have things to finish your projects with, to maybe jazz it up and have something that you take along with you. If things are all framed and hanging on the walls, your stitching stays at home all the time. So there's an idea for you. So thanks for tuning in and hanging in there with me. Hello if you're new and you're still watching. I've been getting a few new subscribers, so thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you next time. Happy stitching. Happy Olympics. Go USA.